Good morning, everybody. I'm Luke Sullivan with Transwest Truck Trailer RV. It's opening weekend down at National Western Stock Show. Come down and see us. New building, new spot. Got a lot of cool trailers down there. Got a lot of inventory on the lot still, too. Behind me, I think, is becoming one of our more popular, maybe bumper pull style trailers for sure. It's a 2-horse straight load with a side ramp at the 2026 Norstar. We're 7'7" tall, 6'10" wide, and there's a lot of add-ons on this trailer. We talk about a lot of stuff that we can add if you find an inventory trailer on our lot here in our shop. We can still do some small things with this trailer. There's a couple small things you want to do, but this one's got a lot of those things that we talk about. First and foremost, we'll get right into it, an electric jack. So all of our goosenecks, or a lot of our goosenecks, it's getting way more popular to go with an electric over hydraulic. We don't need all that power with that electric over hydraulic, but we can do an electric jack. So same theory, press of a button, up and down, really, really easy to get these guys hooked up now. Don't have to hand crank them anymore, and really makes a big difference in life. It's the small things. And just like the electric over hydraulic and the goosenecks, there is a way, if you ever have a dead battery or some kind of issue, you can put a hand crank in here and still get it spun on or off your truck in any kind of emergency. So bumper pulls, we'll talk really quick. It's finally winter here in Colorado. Everything's a little frozen up on us this morning, but 2 5/16 inch coupler on that, so make sure you've got the right size ball for the right size hitch. 2 5/16 inch again is the size on these Cimarrons. And then heavy duty safety chains, really like that Cimarron uses these little hooks here, or little tabs there to hang those so you're not dropping them down in the dirt. And then another small thing, let's see, I can't open it up, it's frozen as well, but a coiled up breakaway cable there too. Nice to kind of keep things neat. We've all seen those longer cables that get dragged down on the road or the ground and get disconnected. And then your standard 7-pin connection, standard on almost all of our late model vehicles nowadays. So going to be a really easy hookup and setup for you. So add on there right away is that jack, the electric jack. The second one that we do on almost all of our inventory now is the taller diamond plate too. So we've got a lot of dirt and gravel roads out here in Colorado, and it's certainly a theme the farther west you go or north from here. And so this really helps protect these. Even if you just pick up some gravel in your tires at a rest area or something like that, as soon as you merge on the interstate and start throwing that stuff out of your tires, that's going to protect the nose of your trailer quite a bit. A little bit taller, I think we do 36 inches as opposed to an 18 inch, which is standard. So next, stepping into the tack room, we've got that fold-out step. You saw there's no hardware. There's no pin to get crusted up with gravel or dirt over the years, and just a little hydraulic shock that holds it open and or closed. So open this door up for you. Nice door holds here, and we have easy access into the tack room. First and foremost, your door right away keeps you a little bit more organized, gives you a little bit more storage. Down here in the bottom, we've got a brush tray, got a couple little things. Here's that hand crank for the jack we were telling you about, and a hose for a water tank that we have on board as well. But a couple little partitions in there, a couple little drain holes too. I'd be the first one to spill a paint, can of hoof paint or some sheen or something like that. So nice that it's got some drains and it's not going to get all clogged up with stuff. And then you'll notice the whole door is carpeted. Anywhere now that we're doing hooks or hanging storage on the Cimarrons especially, we like to carpet. First and foremost, we've all seen those style trailers, older style trailers, steel, aluminum, whatever they are, with that bare metal behind there, and you get all of that marking and things marked up from your headgear and your bridles and your halters and that kind of stuff. So resale really going to help you out a lot in the long run. And then secondarily too, Cimarron takes a lot of thought and effort into quiet ride technology, so you're not going to have that metal on metal banging when we share those spaces sometimes too with our horses. It's going to keep it a little bit quieter for them. So big heavy duty hooks, really tall, really stout and strong. I like them quite a bit. You can get some extension cords on there too, even say maybe some shorter hoses, and you're not going to find it all on a heap on the floor when you get into the tack room or to your destination. And then just above that, a bus window. Nice to get some ventilation in here if you've had a long show weekend on the summer and you've got a bunch of sweaty saddle pads and gear inside, or it's been a rainy weekend or something like that. Nice to be able to get some ventilation through the trailer. As you'll step in, we've gotten away from the rubber mat. Now we have a permanently sealed down kind of tread style flooring in here. We see this in a lot of high traffic areas and supermarkets, amusement parks and that kind of stuff. So we've taken that and brought it in here. And again, it's going to make it really, really easy to clean out. Nothing's going to get under it. Again, permanent seal all the way around all the edges. So to get away a little bit from our standard bumper pulls and our tack room setups, you see we've got a lot more going on right here in the nose of it. This is our battery for our electric over hydraulic jack. We get a twofold bonus out of that 12-volt deep cycle battery, is that even when we're not hooked up to a tow vehicle, we can run all of our LED lighting, our awning lights around the outside of the trailer, and our LEDs inside of the tack room. So battery down there in the bottom, we've got some of our emergency breakaway system there as well. And then just above that, this is our red arc charge controller. It's just going to put a good charge to our 12-volt deep cycle when we need it and not overcharge it if we don't. Really going to buy a lot of health and time and life out of that battery. And then a disconnect there as well. With the ability to turn all those lights on, it's really easy to leave one on and kill a battery. So our suggestion, if you're leaving it for the weekend, if you're leaving it overnight, or if you're storing it for the whole season, flip that guy off and know that your battery's going to be alive and well when you come back and want to hook up again. Tuck running gear and wheels and tires really quick. You do have a full-size matching spare inside here. You are on Goodyear tires. We'll talk running gear, I guess, when we get to the outside of the trailer. But inside of here, this tire's gonna wear really well. It's not gonna season or not gonna get all of that road damage or debris that you would normally have if you stored it up on the nose. So gonna save face for that really well. And nice to throw that into your tire rotation if you want to buy a little more life out of all of your tires. So back into storage and what you can keep in here, and maybe something that you would possibly want to add to this trailer, and we've got them in our parts department on the shelf, really easy to set you up with those, is maybe add another saddle rack to this. There's a track here set against the wall that you can infinitely adjust these. A couple bolts and loosen those up. You can move these up and down. Same with the saddle poles. If you'd prefer to have one maybe under each saddle rack, you can do that. And again, like I said, we've got extras in our parts department. If you'd like to add one or think you could maybe even have the space to add two, you're more than welcome, and we'd certainly help you out with that. So getting into our partition wall, we are just on a little bit of a slant to accommodate that side ramp, make a little more sense when we get into the horse area, but fully carpeted, really keeps the sound deadening, really keeps these trailers riding a lot more quiet. And then to help with some of that airflow, if you do have a hot summer day, like we said, we've got two bus windows in the nose of this tack room, one on the door and one just behind me over the spare. You can get some cross ventilation going through this trailer and keep your horses a little bit more comfortable, get them a little bit more fresh air. And again, like I said, if you've got a tack room full of sweaty gear after a long weekend, you can keep the air moving through here as well. So you've probably seen in a lot of our slant loads, we do a corner style water tank. This is what we call a half moon. It's actually a lot higher capacity. I think we're at about 48 gallons on this one. So the ability to bring water from home, whether you're on a long cross-country road trip or you're going trail riding 30 minutes down the road, but there's no access to water and it's August, it's a really, really nice thing to be able to have that on board and always just have that as a little bit of a safety net. You've got a fill cap right up here at the top, and you've got two options down below. You can hook up that hose that we saw, or you can put a valve at that secondary level there, and it's right about the perfect height for a 5-gallon bucket, so you can fill those guys up too. In the corner, we do have a few more hanging storage spots, and then again, carpeted whenever we have those kinds of areas, and a couple of our light switches for our LED lights, one for our inside and then one for our awning light that's just above the door of the tack room. So again, can turn light night into day with these LEDs and help you out quite a bit. Close this guy back up, give you one more look at the nose of it with that tall tread bright. And again, I may not have mentioned too, obviously easy to spot, but another option on this trailer is that silver body paneling too. So a little bit away from that standard white. I like it, sets off really nice with some pickup trucks that aren't white. And then again too, not a really dark color that's gonna bring in a lot of heat or add a lot of heat to the trailer. So big selling point of this trailer is this side ramp. It's been through our wash bay and we got cold last night, so we're gonna stay off of it today. But otherwise, if you don't hose it down before you have a freezing night, really, really nice option. Whether you've got some older horses that have got bad hocks and stifles and don't want to back off a ramp and you'd much rather just be able to pull them straight out of here. If you've got some young horses you're working with and really want to spend some time training them and walking them straight on and off the trailer, this is a great option. It's a lot about safety, it's a lot about convenience, and it's a lot about options and how you want to use the trailer, obviously. And this side ramp obviously gives you a lot of those choices. We do have a nice little safety bar here too, and it's in a track, so we'll show it to you when we come around from the other side. But it's a really easy and nice system to stow it so that you don't have to worry about it flopping around if you're not gonna utilize it. So we'll pull up this side ramp. I'll give you a look down the side of the trailer as we go. You will notice too that the Dutch window above our ramp here, and then we'll talk about the Dutch doors above the rear ramp, are all able to secure with these paddle latches. So these paddle latches enable you to run with these doors open running down the road. They can be locked as well if you want to be a bit more secure about it. And you have that option to add a lot more airflow to your horses. You've got bus windows there, you've got bus windows over their hips, and we'll talk about some more ventilation options when we get inside. But on a really hot summer day, certainly we're not thinking about it today in January, but if you want to open these guys up and paddle latch them closed against the wall, you can, and safely run down the road. So really quick, let's talk about running gear. A lot of our 2-horse slant loads you'll find on 3,500 pound axles. This is a little bit of an upgrade. You're on 5,200 pound Dexter torsion axles here, so you have a GVW of 10.4, which gives you a little more capacity for some bigger horses. We're certainly trying to accommodate them with that Warmblood size. But 5,200 pound Dexter torsion axles with electric drum brakes. So always be sure your tow vehicle has an electric brake controller, trailer brake controller, and that you have the ability to adjust those settings too. This trailer empty is in that 3,500, 4,000 pound range. When you load it up with 2 big horses and a lot of gear, you could almost easily double the weight. So you want to be able to be sure that the trailer is helping you stop too. We talked about wheels and tires a little bit, about the spares. Again, you're on 16-inch aluminum wheels with Goodyear tires. I think that name again speaks for itself, and you've got some really good running gear going down the road. So we'll work our way inside the trailer now. Couple things going on inside. First and foremost, one thing we talk a lot about on add-ons is worm flooring. This is a worm equipped trailer from the factory. Don't have to deal with our vendor down south of Denver. It's set, it's ready to go, and they do a great job with it. So that's a really big add-on that we like quite a bit. And then next, something that's setting these trailers apart from the rest are these traveling dividers. So first, we have a full divider. If you want to call it, in the slant load world, you'll probably call it a stud divider. But you've got that safety aspect of it. Nobody's feet are going to crisscross over, or you're going to have any accidents like that, or if you want to use maybe one side for storage. And then you've got the full airflow bars as well. And then the big piece to us now is the traveling aspect of it. So I came from the breeding world, hauled a lot of mares and foals around. I would want the ability to slide this over, stow it away, put a mare and foal in here, haul them around town to a vet clinic or something like that, and then bring them home. And then if I had a couple geldings to pick up or something like that, I could switch it back over. I never have to decide if I'm leaving this at home, if I'm taking it with me. I don't have to find somebody to help me take it out, because they are all aluminum, but they are a bit awkward. So as I'm talking here, I'm just dropping a couple of chest bars. Decided that I'm gonna go pick up a mare and foal at the clinic, and my gloves are freezing to everything. I've got 3 pins up front and 2 pins at the back that you guys are looking at, and I'm on the wrong side of it, so I'm gonna scoot back over. 2 more pins back here. They're all spring loaded and they'll latch and hold themselves open. And then we are leaning towards me, so it's gonna want to fight me a little bit. Spring load those guys right back in. You notice I didn't have to remove the butt bars or the chest bars on this side, they can just sandwich against the wall. And just like that, while my gloves are still freezing everything, I now have a wide open box stall. Real easy to pull the button chest bar off of the wall over there, and you've got a nice wide open area. Now, we also understand too, a lot of our customers are multi-purposing these trailers. If you have a quad, an ATV, smaller side-by-side you want to run into service, if your husband and son are going to go out and do a little trail ride in one weekend, this is a great spot to put it, absolutely. You have the ability and you have this wide open space to make it a lot more versatile. So, really quick, flip on a couple lights for you. Show you some of our LEDs and brighten things up a little bit more in here. And while we're looking up at the ceiling, we obviously have an LED over the head of each horse. Brighten it up a lot in here. Should have turned those on before I started moving around the divider, but gonna shed a lot of light on things while we're up top. Cimarron is insulated roof panel, one piece, front to back. It has an R3 insulation factor. So summertime, you're gonna see a big temperature difference inside this trailer versus an aluminum or steel skin sheeted trailer. And then secondarily to that too, it's pretty tough. For our LQ side of things, it makes it really easy to do service. You can walk around up there, not have to worry about looking for roof bows or putting dents in your floor. We're in hail country out here too. We see these hold up really well in storms. And then above the heads of each horse too, talking about keeping them comfortable and talking about some airflow again, are some two-way roof vents. So we can open those up, scoop air right into our horses' faces, right over their backs. Summertime, and move a lot of air through this trailer. You keep those Dutch doors open in the back and it's going to be a free flow airflow. And then some wintertime, if you've got two in here, they can create a lot of body heat and a lot of condensation. Maybe you want to reverse those just to keep some of that air moving through the trailer. A couple of things you'll notice walking around the trailer. We've got a lot, kick mat, all four walls, both sides, and padded dividers too on our partition. So gonna be a really safe place for our horses. And like we talked about too, we'll lift up this butt divider down here. Some of the quiet ride things that Cimarron really takes into consideration is anytime you have a connection point, I'm not going to slide that back over for us now, but it's going to be metal on plastic where our pins connect in for the partition itself, where the butt bars are, anywhere that you have those connections. It's going to be metal on plastic to keep that noise down and keep things kind of, we've all heard those steel trailers rattling down the road, so it's going to keep things a little bit quieter. Work our way out, we'll close up the back side of this trailer, see if I make it down the ramp without falling on my face. So far, so good. We'll close this up and we'll talk a little bit about marker lights, LEDs. I like what Cimarron does with 4 tail lights around the back of the trailer. Really lights things up. Obviously, each side's going to act as a turn signal together, or brake lights. And then again, like I said, full LEDs, and in the tail lights themselves too is a reverse light there. No change to your connections, just been something that's been really underutilized. But as soon as you throw your tow vehicle into reverse, that's going to light up, and it throws quite a bit of light out, especially if it's a spot you're familiar with and you've got a reference point you want to see and it's dark. It's still dark at 5 o'clock here right now, so nice to have a little bit more added light. All our controls for our awning lights on both sides of the trailer, over the rear ramp, and our interior lights in the horse area, controlled right here on this left rear corner. Hop out of your tow vehicle, run right out here, flip those on, get yourself unloaded or loaded, and really easy access to that. Next to that, you'll see our paddle latches. We talked about being able to lock those on the side. You can also lock this trailer up tight. You'll get a master set of keys with the trailer. Everything's keyed alike, and if you're at a show, you're at a boarding facility, and you want to throw a trunk or some things in the horse area, you can still get this locked up tight and know that it's secure. See a good view of that bus window over the hip side of our horses on the rear of the trailer. Big, wide open bus window, so you're going to help move a lot of air through that trailer. And then below that, just a couple tie rings. We had some on passenger side too. Nice spot to tack up, tie off, whether you're getting ready to show or just loading up or unloading. And then passenger side, we have that is the side ramp, which is a really nice access point. This as a man door is a really nice access point if you're running down the road, want to pop in here and check on your horses, offer some hay, water, or something like that. You have that ability. Gives you a really nice, easy spot. You don't have to drop any ramps. You can pop in there and check on them. And then within the door itself is a drop window as well. So when we talk more about airflow, and this is a wide open space with jail bars, still keep it safe. If you're using this as a box stall, nobody's going to be able to stick their head out. If you are using it as a box and you want access or a spot to clip on or something like that, you can drop your jail bars down very easily. One thing I really like about the Cimarrons is, again, no mechanism, no latch, no spring loaded something to go wrong. It's as simple as raising and lowering it and fitting it right in and out of that track. And then it's January. Maybe we don't want that full bus window or that full drop window down. You can open up that bus window and still regulate their temperature and keep them a little bit cooler. Just above that too, you'll notice one of those side awning lights can light up a lot of space out here. And again, like we said, it's getting dark very early this time of year, so nice to be able to have those added options and a little bit more light to see what you're doing. If you guys have questions specifically about this trailer, if you'd like to see some drawings on it, you'd like to see some more about the add-ons, please feel free to reach out to me. My email's down below, luke.sullivan@transwest.com. If you want a specific weight on this trailer, you'd like to talk about your tow vehicle and its capabilities, certainly a lot of larger SUVs would be plenty capable of this, so happy to chat about that. You can call me or text me on my cell phone. It's 859-509-1282. And then if you want to reference this one again specifically, its stock number is 5N251094. Thanks for your time today, everybody. Have a great weekend. Hopefully we'll see you at National Western Stock Show. También hablo español.